Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, I have already discussed about that scope. So if you want to display some of the specific CSS file for the specific some of the page, then you can manage it with the scope. So we successfully did that work. So now in this video, I want to discuss about that props. So how can working with the props? In this video, I will show you that things with a live example. For doing this, first of all, I want to run our project again. So here I run our project as a CMD. So now for run our VueJs project, we have to define as a npm run and then serve. Okay, so I just simply define as a npm run serve. So now if you click on the enter, so now it will be created our app link. So it should be create this link. So we have to wait a little bit. Now you can see our app is now running, and now that is our local link. So that is our local host 8081. So for now I just copy it. And now here I want to access it. I just click on the enter. So now you can see our project is now running. And also friend, I want to do that another things like before I used all that our HTML file, and also here I'm using that sublime text editor. But in the sublime text editor, there have some of the issues. Like there have some of the hidden one of the space. Like if you put some of the hidden space, then Vue actually put some of the error for this one, because in sublime text editor you cannot find out that spaces. That means the hidden spaces. For the reasons I want to switch our this editor. I want to use another editor, that is the Visual Studio Code. So that is also totally free. You have to download it and you have to install that editor. So now I want to use it. Like first of all, I want to add our all that project. So go to that file and open folder. So in our exercise file, into our VueJs folder, I have created our project, right? So that is our Vue project. So now I just select this one and click on the select folder, and now you can see all that our file is now ready. So that is in our component. So that is our navbar, and that is our app blade. That means the app view. Okay, so that is our app view page, and that is our navbar view. Perfect. So now for working with the props, I want to create some of the components. Like here in our component area, I want to create as a new file, and I just name it as a like all friends. Okay, I just name it as a allfriends.vue, and also I want to create another one. So I just click on the new file in our component folder, and I just name it as a online. Okay, online friends.vue. So I just simply create another one as a online friends.vue. Perfect. So I have created two of this component. One is our online friends.vue, another is the all friends.vue. So now here I want to define some of the all friend list, and into the all friend list how many friend into this group, and into this group how many friend is the online. So this type of data I want to visible. So for the reasons here I have created two of these components. So now first of all I want to do, if you go to our navbar, that is a navbar. So right now I just copy all the things from here. Okay, I just copy all the things from our navbar, and now in our all friends I just simply paste it. And also I paste it in our online friends. So I just simply paste two of these on here. So now I want to customize it. Like there is our one of the template, and there is a name. So here I don't want to display that name. And also in our this div area, I want to define one of the ID. Okay, so here I define one of the ID, and I just name it as a all friend. Okay, I just name it as a all friends. And also in particular that position, that means in our this div area, I want to define another h2 tag. So I just simply define as a h2 and close that h2. And now into the h2 area, I want to display some of the name as a all friend. Okay, I just simply name it as a all friends. And also in our navbar, that means here in our property area, we have to define that name. So I just simply define now as a all friends. So I just simply name it as a all friend. Okay, I just name it as a all friends. Perfect. And now I want to do the same things for our online friend. Here I also want to remove our nav. So here I remove that nav. In our ID, that means in our div, here I define one of the ID and name it as a online friends. Okay, I just name it as a online friends. Make that sure spelling is correct, as a online friend, friends. Okay, so I just simply name it as a online friends, and here I define our h2 tag, and also I want to finish our h2 tag, and here I name it as a online friends Okay, I just name it as online friends. And also here we have to export the default our property values. So here I define name as online friends. Okay, I name it as online friends. And also here you can see this editor is so much helpful because of all in our this all friend, maybe they have some of the issues. You can see it's now become red right now. So maybe I defined some of the wrong, like you can see I didn't add and this div, so we have to end it. So now you can see it's now become green. I hope you can well understand about it. So for the reasons this is actually better. So now I am using it. So I just simply define as a div as all friend. I define that name all friends, and also that is our online friends. So now I want to add both of these component in our root component, that means here. So I think you already know about it. So if you want to add two of these, first of all you have to import two of these. So I just simply copy it, and here I just simply paste it. So first of all here I define that name. So here I define that name as all friends. So I just simply copy it, and now here I define that name as all friends. And also from our components folder, into the components folder I have created one of the view file, one of the component as all friends. So I just simply define as all friends.view. And also there is another one. So another one I have to define as online friends. So here I define that name as online friends, right? So I just simply copy it, and now here I define as online friends, and in our components I have created this twice. That means in our component I have created this component as an online friend. So I just simply defining it. So now we have to add two of these in our component area. So I just simply add our two of these. One will be as all friends. So here I define as all friends, and also there is another one as online friends. So I just simply copy it, and here I just simply paste it. Okay, so that is our neighbor, that is our all friend and the online friend. So now I want to visible two of these. So here I want to visible it like that neighbor. After that neighbor, here I want to visible our all friend. So I just simply define that all friend, and also I want to finish it. I just finish as all friends. Okay, and also there is another one as a online friend. So I just simply define our online friend, and also here I want to finish it. There's an online friend. Perfect. And everything is now green. So now if you click on the save all, I just click on the save all. Now go to our project, and now here if you refresh it, yeah, you can see it's now perfectly visible our neighbor. And after that neighbor I have created another component as a all friend. So all friend is now visible, and also I display another component as a online friend. So now here our two of this component is perfectly loaded in our root component. So it's now perfectly loaded, right? So now here first of all I want to work in our all friend. So here go to our all friend page, and into the all friend you can see that is actually the return. So first of all here I want to return one of the object, and into the object here I want to define one of the array. So I just take one of the name as a friends. So here I want to define one of the array. So I have already discussed about that things with you. So if you want to display some of the array, then you have to define that array in particular that area. So I want to define some of the array, and I just put that name. Like I just define that one of the object as a name, and for the name I just define that value as a a. Okay, and also I want to define another things as a online, and for the online I want to define that things as a true. So I just simply define that as a true. Okay, so perfect. So now I want to copy it. So I just copy it, and now here you have to define that comma, and then the comma I just take some of the field for this one. Okay, so here I define as a comma, and for the last one we don't need this. So here I define as a, and then B, and then C, and then D, and the E. Perfect. And for the A I just define as a true, and for the B I just define as a false. Like I just define as a false. Okay, I just define as a false for the B, and for the E I also define as a false. So friend, here I define that array. So now if you want to visible it, then how we can visible it? I have already discussed about that things with you. If you want to visible it, you can define that things with the our loop, that means the for loop. So here I take one of the div. Okay, I take one of the div, and also I want to finish that div, and in our this div area, so here I want to add that for each. So if you want to add that for loop, first of all you have to define that v and the for, right? I think you already know about it. So into the view for here, if you want to visible that name, what exactly you have to do? First of all, you have to define that singular and then the plural, right? So for the friends, for our singular is a friend, so I just simply define as a friend. Okay, I just simply define as a friend in friends. Okay, I just simply define as a friend in friends. And also if you want to display the indexing fast data, okay, if you want to display that fast data, you can also indexing it. So our index fast data, if you want to visible like in our friends, okay, so here I want to visible it. So that means our fast data will be visible. So into the friends here I define as index. Okay, I just define our first indexing data, so that means this one first indexing data. And here also if you want to index it, then you have to define that things with the key. So I just simply define that key. Okay, so with this key I just simply define our this indexing, so I just simply define that index. So I just simply define that index. Perfect. So now if you want to visible it, then what exactly you have to do? You have to display it with this singular name, right? So I already discussed about that things with you. So now I want to display our all that for each data. So if you want to visible it, then you have to define that things with the single name. So I just simply define as a friend. I just simply define as a friend, and into the friend I want to display that name. Okay, that means this name. So I just simply define that name as a name. So I have already discussed about that things with you before. I think you already remember it, and now you can see how everything is interrelated. So step by step we will go more deep, and when we will create some of the project, then we will also use all the things in our project. So friend, everything will be very much clear to you step by step, so don't worry about it, as I told you before. And also here you can see it's now becoming red. That means is they have some of the error maybe, like here I define that on this pen. Okay, I define on this pen, and also I want to finish that span. So I just finish that span. Into the span area I want to display it, so here I just simply display it. Perfect. So here for the indexing, here I am using the full stop, so here it should be as a comma. Okay, you can see now it's totally gone. So if there have any error, automatically it will be becoming red. So now I just simply our indexing with our singular into the singular variable. Here I define that comma and our indexing fast data. So now if you click on the save all, I click on the save all, and now go here, refresh that page. Yeah, you can see it's now perfectly visible as a B, C, D. So everything is now perfectly visible on here. And also here if you want to visible that style, then you can also visible it like here in our all friend. So they have some of the style, so better I just remove that style. Okay, and in our root, into the root they have some of the style default, so better I just copy it. Okay, I just copy total things from here. I just simply copy it, and now in our this style area, that means in our all friend, here I just simply paste it. And now better that is a span, so I just define as a h6. Okay, I just define as h6, and also here I want to finish it as a h6. So now for the h6 I want to display it, that means display this our style, so I just simply define that as a h6. Okay, so here I want to display it, so we don't need that hash. So now if you click on the save all, and now if you refresh it, yeah, you can see it's actually becoming big, but here there is a margin top, so I want to remove that margin top. Okay, now click on the save all. Yeah, it's now perfect. So now here I want to visible all that our online friends. Because of all here I define some of the things, like you can see I just define as a online true, so I want to only visible only that true all the data. So if you want to display that true all the data, then what exactly you have to do? So I have already discussed about that things with you before. You have to display that things with one of the condition, right? With the if condition you can do that work. So for now better returned. Okay, so better I just copy it. I just copy that things from here, and now go to our online friends, and here there is our return. So in particular that area I just simply paste it. So here I just simply paste it. So that is the friends. Okay, and also that is our top. So here online friends, I also want to take this part. That means here there is our tag and there is one of the tabs. So I just simply copy that tab and now go here. After this, here I want to simply paste it. So now, as I told you here, I want to display all that are true. That means all that online, when it should be true, it should be visible. For the reasons here we have to define one of the condition. So I just simply define that condition, one of the detector. I have already discussed about that things. That is a be if, right? So into the be if we can actually with this we can do that work. So now into the be if I want to get all the data from with the singular as a friend, right? So with this friend I want to display all that our this value data, that means the online. So here I just simply define that with the dot and our this online. So if there right now automatically this system will be work. So if this our friend in our online field will be true, then all the true field will be displayed with the name, that means this name. So as I told you before, if you want to display all that our data, that means here I define our array and I just take that array with this for each into the for each. First of all, it should be as a singular in the plural. So if you want to display that data, then you have to use that singular. So here I am using that singular. With this singular, I want to define our array object name. So that is actually the name. Okay, and also I put some of the condition into the if condition. This friend should be as online. Now let's check this out. If you click on the save all and now go here, yes, now you can see A is the true, C is true and D is true. So all the true data is now perfectly getting that things and display that things on here. If you go here, you can see that is A is the true, C is true and D is the true. For the reasons it's now perfectly visible as A, C, D. I hope it's very much clear to you, friend. But here one things. Like you can see when I display that your all that array, you have to write down all that array in our all friend area, and also you have to write that things in our all friends page area. So it is not actually the good practice to visible all that code for every pages, right? So if you want to prevent it, then you can prevent it with using the props. Okay, so now I show you how can manage that without write down that code on here. Like that is our friend. So right now I just cut it. So I just simply cut it from here and also in our all friends. So I just simply also cut it from here. Okay, I just simply cut it. So now go to our main root directory. That means in our main root component, in the main root component, here I define our return and then the title, and into the title I define some of the string, right? So here I want to add that part. So here I want to add it. So like here, okay, I just simply add that friend. So now I just added that things in our root component. So now we can actually access our all that array in our every pages. So if you want to use it, then you can use it with the props. So for using that props, like here I want to pass that information in our which page. I want to pass that information in our all friend page, right? So into the all friend page I have already added our all friends. So you can see I have already added our this page, that means this component page in particular, that area. So now we can pass that things with the props. So here I want to do, first of all I define on the I just define on the binding that part. Like I just take as a friend. Okay, I just name it as a friend. Whatever the name you will put, you have to get that things in our that page area. So I want to bind it, and here I define as is equal to, and I just name our that field. That means here I define as a friends, right? So here I just simply pass that things in our that particular area. Okay, I hope you can well understand about it. So here with this I just bind it, I just name it as a friend. So whatever the name you will put in particular that area, you have to get it with this. So from here we pass it our friend. So now we have to use it in our that page, that means in our all friend page. So into this position, that is a name in here. Okay, that means here I want to display it. So in particular that position, I just want to display it with the props. I just simply define the props, and into the props I want to define our this name. What is the name I just passed from here? I just pass it as a friends. So I just simply copy it, and here I just simply name it. So I just simply name it as a friends. Okay, perfect. So friend, I think is very much clear to you. So now here I define that comma and then our data, that means the data property. So now if you click on the save all, and now if you open your page, like I just refresh it, and here it's not visible because of all I just prop it with the friends, and here I just name it as the friends, and also that is our here I pass it. So here I also define that name as a friends is equal this one. I just pass it in our that page, in our all friend page. So now let's check this out. I just click on the save all, and now go here. Yeah, you can see it's now perfectly visible. So friend, I think it's very much clear to you. So we pass all that things. Okay, we just passed all that things, that is our friend. So here we have to also define that name with the same name as a friend is equal to friend, and now I pass all that our array data and take that array with these props. So with these props I just simply define our these friends. Now it's perfectly getting all the data, and now it's perfectly display in particular that area. And also I want to pass all that our online friends data. So for the online friends, I have already defined that part in our root component, into the root component as a friends, right? So I want to do the same thing. So here I also want to pass it. So better I just copy it, and in our online friends here I also want to pass that as a friends with the same name. So now we have to display it in our online friends, right? So go to our online friends, so that is a name, and after that name here you have to define that props. Okay, I just simply define as a props, and now here you have to define that our props. So I just define that, pass it as a name as a friends. So I just simply pass it as a friends. Okay, so now perfect, everything is now become green, and now click on the save all, and now go here, because of all here I have already put that our if condition, so everything will be same. So here it should be visible, like if you go here, yeah, you can see it's now perfectly visible which data is the true. So all that our true data is now perfectly visible on here. So if you go in our root directory here, I want to define as a false. That means A, I just define as a false, click on the save all. Now go here, you can see A is now gone from to this position. So friend, I think it's very much clear to you how can use the props and why you should use it. Okay, so and how can pass all the props data, and how can visible it, specific some of the page element area, so how can visible it. So everything is now perfectly working in our page. So that's all about our props. In our next video, I want to discuss about that custom event. So how can working with the custom events. In our next video, I will show you that things with a live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.